Hi, Daddy.
Hi, everybody. Hi, Daddy. Welcome to the Sam and Ryan channel. I'm Sam.
I'm Ryan. Have you accepted Bearded Ryan as your Lord and Savior?
Speaking of Lord and Savior, this episode of the Intelligent Drinking Game is all about religion.
Whoa,
guys.
Controversial subject.
We're talking about religion today.
My parents always told me 3 things to never discuss: sex, politics, and religion.
Well, we've done all of those things on our channel.
So-
Sorry, Pam and Con. Obviously, religion is a hot topic. We are just here to share our opinions and beliefs as we can on the internet.
By the way, this video is brought to you by Hot Topic. That's not true. Hot Topic send us free stuff. I
Sure.
want free stuff from Hot Topic?
Yeah.
Just a check would be fine.
Any sort of disclaimer you want to throw out there? Don't attack us.
Yeah, I mean, geez. In the name of, the tenets of all religions, love thy neighbor and, be nice to people and,
Just be a good
don't have
person.
hate in your heart. Let's have a civil discussion, you guys.
Let's do it. If you are new here, here's how the Intelligent Drinking Game works.
We pick a topic,
Religion,
then we ask a question,
it is coming
then we take a shot,
right here.
and then we answer the question.
Those are also coming.
So the premise being that the more serious the questions get about the topic, the more drunk we become. Therefore, the more honestly we answer the question.
The more fun we have all around.
Yeah, we always get pretty tipsy. We haven't said anything looking back that we've been like, whoa, like we,
No.
So we're, we keep it hundred.
We keep it truthful, even with our sober selves. But hey, tequila,
Yeah. But listen, this is how we feel, and like, just for you Gen Zs out there,
That's me.
do you see a cap?
No cap.
No caps, not here. Literally,
You've said no cap like 3.
I don't see a cap anywhere. I'm being radicalized by TikTok.
I'm like, you've said no cap like 3 times today.
What is the first question?
Were you raised religious?
Show enough. Oh, I'm not supposed to tell you.
You're
yet.
supposed to
I'm
take
not
the
supposed to
shot.
tell you
Remember
yet.
the order.
Sorry. Who knows? We'll see. She's capping. I was raised religious. I was raised in an Irish Catholic household. I went to church every Sunday, no exceptions, unless I went to church Saturday night instead, which was sometimes allowed. But like, religion was a very prevalent part of my life, very prevalent part of my family's discussions. I sang in the church choir. I was very involved.
Yeah. I feel like when I hear were you raised religious, I've kind of pictured that in kind of like a level of strictness with religion in the family. And I would actually say that I was raised with religion. That sounds like such a small distinction.
No, I get what you're saying, though. I think that's an important distinction to make.
We did go to church. My parents were very known members of the church. We also had a lot of kids, and the church helped raise for a lot of the adoptions in my family. And so we were just I hesitate to use the word figures, but when I look back at it, my parents were figures in our church. Once we were around late elementary school, or some of the kids started getting into middle school, when we could fake pretending to be sick, or some kids just wanted to sleep in, they kind of stopped trying to force us to go. And then it just kind of became we do believe in God in this household, but we're also open to talk about it. Also, I was raised in Nashville, Tennessee, Bible Belt, come on. It was a part of everything around me to a certain degree.
And Christian, non-denominational, what was your...
For my family, it was non-denominational.
There's no way to say this without sounding like I'm talking about Gossip Girl or something, but I do think it's interesting that both of our families were families of status.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That because my dad was I don't even remember. Dad, leave it in the comments. He was the treasurer, or he was some kind of, he was a very important member of the church when I was in high school. I sang in the choir, everyone knew us too. It was
Sure.
the same sort of thing. Also, just tell our viewers, because you kind of glazed over this, how many siblings do you have?
So there are 8 children in my family. I mean, not children, we're all adults now, but 4 birth, 4 adopted. And like I said, the church, the main church that we went to growing up that my parents were involved in, a lot of people helped fundraise those adoptions and really make it happen, and came together in a beautiful way.
I mean, just in the theme of religion, if there is a heaven, your parents have carved out special seats up there. Because 8 kids?
8 kids.
Woof. And that is a big woof, my friend. What's the next cue?
Are you religious now?
Disingenuous seeming millennial bull soup warning. I am not religious, I'm spiritual. And I know that that sounds like the stupidest thing ever.
No.
But for context, and for those of you who are watching who maybe are Catholic and still subscribe to Catholicism, please understand, like, my opinion of your life is none of your business, and your opinion of my life is none of mine. We can all live our own lives, and I don't want to offend anyone. I'm just sharing my journey because this is my YouTube channel, Dad.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
So welcome.
Yeah.
You can click out of this video.
Being raised in the Catholic Church, I was constantly confronted with my denomination in the news of members of the clergy sexually assaulting young boys, and, you know, the papal economic infrastructure paying settlements to cover that up. And so eventually my faith journey came to a screeching halt because part of the Catholic Mass is tithing. That's the word. It's called tithing, and it means you are required, you know, by the tenets of your faith to give a certain amount of money to the church every week. And I just started saying, okay, I put $20 in the basket every week, and then I see $200 million sexual abuse settlements, and there's a direct correlation between that and where my money is going. So for me, I stopped being religious when I realized that religion is an institution made by man, not by gods. And that my spirituality, that's why I use that word, is incumbent on a personal relationship between me and whatever I've decided is out there. You know, I do pray, I am spiritual, I can't support an institution made by man with financial incentive to force certain beliefs on people and indoctrinate them, because that seems like a Ponzi scheme. I don't want money to have anything to do with my spiritual journey, so that's why I made the choice that I made. What about you?
My answer is the same. I think my reasons are different.
Yeah.
So I am not a religious person, but I am spiritual. I actually love that my generation, and I think younger generations and your generation, is becoming more comfortable disassociating from religion. I think sometimes religion can give people structure that often makes them feel more comfortable with spirituality, which can be helpful.
Absolutely.
But I think the rest of it, like, yeah, is like tithing to the church, or like, yeah, we can get into that later. But for me personally, I don't think it was a choice that I made, mainly because it's what I know the most about. I mostly identify with like the teachings of Jesus and, you know, some really great parables in the Bible. I put it in its historical context to the best of my ability, and I don't live by it verbatim because I think, in my personal opinion, I think that's a little silly, just considering it is a historical text.
I mean, and we've had this conversation. When you are religious and there are some things that you accept, but there are some things that you argue against, you're accused of being either not religious enough or a pick and choose Christian or whatever.
I've been called a pick and choose Christian my entire life.
Right.
Even.
And it's so funny because your pick and choose Christian is my rational thinker. Like, just going through it and saying what is useful, what isn't, what is tainted by history and what is no longer. I mean, like, you can't say that the Bible is a perfect book when in Deuteronomy it literally says you aren't allowed to cut your hair.
Yes.
Like, it was instructions on how to not get leprosy. We have to view it in historical context. That's
Exactly.
not picking and choosing, it's thinking critically.
I was exposed a lot to the idea that you are allowed to change your beliefs, and your beliefs are allowed to be ever evolving and ever growing. And I think that is very important, especially when it comes to religion and spirituality.
Get that lime out of there, Daddy.
I need a new lime.
Oh,
I got tequila on my hand.
You should have thought about it before you did it, Daddy.
Question number 3. Outside of the church, what do you think pulled you away from religion?
Like I said before, I think the news, like I think seeing a journalistic breakdown of how corrupt my particular denomination of Christianity was, But that didn't make me say, okay, maybe I'm not religious, maybe I'm spiritual. That made me think maybe I'm Episcopalian, not Catholic. I think, honestly, the thing that pulled me away from it from without was hearing atheists' point of view.
Interesting.
Having the entire premise of faith challenged. Because ultimately, I grew up incredibly faithful. I saw points of view that were antithetical to a faithful point of view, and I landed somewhere in between. Because you cannot prove anything that religion offers you. You cannot prove anything that atheism offers you either. So I land in the place of, since you can't prove anything, what makes you feel good? Does it make you feel good to be religious? Great, then be it. Does it make you feel good to believe that there's something but not to give it a name and just to live your life in the service of a force that binds us all together that is predominantly sourced from love? Then live that way. That's kind of where I stand. But you know, I started here, I saw this point of view, and it pulled me here. And I feel very comfortable in the unknown rather than committing to either side.
For me, I don't know if anything necessarily pulled me away from religion outside of the church. I just think it was life experience. I think I moved to California at 16 and met people who weren't raised in the South and heard their points of view and their opinions on religion. And I think when your opinion is challenged, you learn a lot about your opinion.
I think if you take anything away from this video, it should be that about everything. Like,
Yeah.
if your opinion about religion is being challenged right now, listen to understand rather than to respond, and accept that. You should be so grateful to have your opinion challenged, because either your opinion will change and change is good, or your opinion will be stronger because it was challenged and you didn't change your mind.
Yes, exactly.
Sam, what you said is amazing. I love you for that. Period. What's the next question?
Question number
4? I don't know.
Now, within the church, what pushed you away from religion? I know that this has been said before. I believe that if Jesus was walking the earth today, the fan base of his, like the like very, very like devout Christians would probably be calling him a socialist, and like, you know, they wouldn't even recognize him.
Well, right, because he'd be brown.
So on like a different level, some of the just like, you know, very base level things that pushed me out of the church were cliquiness that was in church. I was like, okay, no thank you. Like, I'm in high school, I already deal with that at school, I don't need it in church. I think what actually pushed me out of the church was people feeling so sure that they knew that everything that was in this historical text was true and that nothing in it was up for debate.
Yes.
That, to me, honestly, is not faith. Faith is in the unknown. And people who are so adamant about everything in the Bible being true or everything in a religious text being true, I'm really only talking about Christianity because that's the only religion that I've had experience with. Those people just really turn me off from religion as a whole.
For me, what popped into my head while you were talking is, if you use faith to justify your love for life and your love for people, whatever God, Goddess, force, or source you believe in, may it bless you, keep doing what you're doing. But so often, I see faith being used to justify the hatred of others. And I find that unforgivable.
You just reminded me of, like, I think from the bottom of my heart, like my truest answer for this question of what pushed me like away from religion. People who use God to justify their own will disgust me.
Not fair.
And I mean that from the bottom of my heart. I have come across so many people claiming to be Christians who have told me to my face that God is telling them X, Y, or Z. Like, God is telling me I just can't trust you right now.
God is telling me you're a bad person. God is telling me you're a liar.
X, Y, and Z. No.
You are telling you that.
You are telling you that, and you are using your religion as a scapegoat.
As a weapon.
As a weapon. I think that's a much better word. And that, truthfully, using religion as a weapon, I think that's the best way to sum up the point that the both of us have been making right now.
So many people use religion as a tool, as a way to better themselves.
Yes.
I have no beef with those people. That is a
beautiful,
beautiful thing. If religion is a conduit to your joy, you are nailing it.
Amazing, good for you.
But like a scythe in a wheat field, religion is either a weapon or a tool. It depends on how it's wielded and who is using it. And so often I see it wielded as a weapon, and that is not fair. I think that's like, right?
I think we answered the question.
Yeah.
Final question. What were the benefits of religion in your life? What do you miss?
Yeah. Great thing about alcohol. Oh, really? The drunker I get, the less I taste it.
Yeah, honestly, maybe more of that was the lime.
Culture, community, tradition.
Soup. You just summed that up perfectly.
You know, like, I miss aspects of the culture. I miss coming together. You know, in the Catholic Church, you know, there are special prayers. You petition, and these prayers are read aloud if someone in the community has a sick relative or is going through something, and the entire congregation prays for that specific thing. And even if there is no such thing as God, if all of this is complete bull soup, and if none of this, you know, is anything, just the idea of everyone being in the same building and sending positive thoughts in the direction of that person. I mean, it almost brings me to tears. Community is beautiful. You know, I remember when I first moved to Los Angeles, I had a church right down the street, and walking down the street and going to church every Sunday morning, it made me feel like I belonged somewhere. And the value of that, I think, is immeasurable. And then tradition. I mean, some of the fondest memories that I have are of me and my sister skrelting Jesus music in like the Christmas Mass when we go home for the holidays and things of that nature. Like, you know, Christmas, Easter, you know, all of the sort of holidays that the liturgical year brings us, celebrating that with a family and having it be a holiday about togetherness, but then having there be a spiritual piece to that, and having everyone get in the same zone about thinking about what's bigger than us. Again, I would be so foolish to discount the value of that togetherness and what those traditions bring.
Was not expecting this question to make me emotional.
Yeah, I almost got there.
And
but
a lot of what you just said, like, really resonated with me. And
Can I ask you something sincerely? Is it the question or is it the tequila?
I will say, spirituality plus tequila, most likely for me, is going to end up with cheers. I think the thing that I miss the most about religion is worship. There's a lot about my relationship with spirituality that, in the past, my relationship with like religion, that was really solidified through the worship experience. Being in a room full of people that are just exhaling that positive energy and that yearning for something more and that yearning for a universal love is something that I miss. And I think it was also just like a level of connection for me, like with my spirituality, that I don't often find on my own. I haven't gone to church in a really long time.
Me neither.
Due to the fact that I don't really associate with like religion anymore. But the thing that I miss from religion is that collective worshiping experience. I know that I am well within my right to do that on my own,
But it doesn't feel the same.
but it doesn't feel the same. There is something so powerful about a collective experience. That is why concerts are so amazing. That is why going to the movies is so amazing.
God,
I
not
know
you
this
bringing up all
COVID
these
time
things
is-
amongst the COVID of it all.
I know. But so I will say the collective experience of religion is something that I miss. There was something nice about the routine of religion. That's what it is.
Nice. Yeah, wow.
The routine of religion, going once every week, hearing a message and deciding if it resonates with you or not.
Yeah. Maybe we should just pull a Kanye West and start our own church. That was a joke. We're not gonna do that.
No.
He's sick and needs help, and we shouldn't spy on him.
This
was a great video. I don't even care how it does. I hope you liked it too, but I
Yeah.
feel like this was one of those videos that was great for us.
Even, I was just gonna say, I really hope something about this resonated with you, but even just for us personally, and for me personally, something about this video, as Gen Z would say, hit different.
Yuck, not with the Gen Z hands.
Hit different.
Not with the
But
Gen
it's
Z
true, it
hands.
did.
Totally.
And
No,
it was a
absolutely.
nice moment of reflection for myself, honestly. So hopefully it was a nice moment of reflection for you.
And we have been releasing videos periodically that have been a little bit deeper like this, and the reception has been amazing. So, you know, there's a piece of this that could not have been possible without the permission that you granted us, and for that we are very thankful.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it by saying some bull soup in the comments. Let's all be mature about this and understand that we all have our own individual paths and own individual experiences in our lives that inform the opinions that we share. Love you all.
Love you, seriously.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Jesus wants you to like and subscribe, you guys. I'm telling you, God is speaking to me right now and wants you to like and subscribe.
I can't. Thank you so much for watching. Bye, Daddy.
Bye, Daddy.